So, I'm here with Nicole.
Hello.
Iron
How are you? Iron Mom.
Ironman. Triathlete extraordinary. So, we want to chat a little bit about triathlon.
Sure.
Being a mom of twins and a young boy.
Yeah.
And
I think that's harder sometimes than doing triathlon. So.
Yeah, and then a husband who has a crazy work schedule.
Demanding hours, and he also likes to do short course races as well.
Is that new?
To compete. No, it's not. He actually started triathlons before me and got me addicted, and I just took it to a whole new level.
He's like now back into it.
Yeah. Awesome. He's getting more injuries, so that's why he has to keep it to the short course.
Yeah.
And,
so
he's my athletic supporter.
That's awesome.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah, and then you got your kids out of the horse sometimes with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, I think it's important to get the kids involved and to have parents as a mentor and to teach them the healthy habits instead of being sedentary and just playing video games all the time.
Yeah.
And then also trying to teach them about nutrition.
Yeah.
It's huge. Being a mom, it is tough and it is like a full-time job, although I don't think moms get, it's 24/7. It's not just like a 9-to-5 job. So when they're sick, I can't call in sick. I have to be on duty and, by their side, and they're first. So my training comes second to my kids. So if there's a day where I have to alter training, I'll talk to my coach, and I'll have to work with my husband, and I either work in the morning, train in the morning or train at night, not during the day when I usually have the time to do it, or I just have to switch my days. If I see there's a day where I could do a swim day instead of like a run day, that I need my kids to go to daycare and whatnot, it's just really juggling, just being able to deal with the curveballs thrown at you. So you can't, it's not set, and it's not, I have to be flexible, of course. I do have a coach. I've had a coach for about 2 years now, and I couldn't do Ironmans without a coach. I think it's very important, especially becoming new to the sport. It's definitely helped me grow and increase, my talent in the sport. He definitely thinks I have potential, so that's why I'm going to stick it out, and hopefully within a few years, I'll be doing better things. I'm a swimmer. I've been swimming since I was 5 years old. I actually swam with Andy Potts.
Yeah.
So, he did have a crush on me. And he will verify it. So, hi, Andy. I've been swimming all my life, which is great because that's, huge in the triathlon sport to have that background. Because you can easily be taught to run and bike, but swimming is definitely a challenge, especially open water swimming for many people. I got into running, which about 10 years ago. So I started doing marathons, half marathons, and then finally about 2-3 years ago, I decided to pick up the bike. It's my learning curve, exactly. But it's definitely helped me strengthen my other two sports, my swimming and my running. So
it gives you a spot from injury when you get injured in that, you can go into biking. And
I currently just had a stress fracture on my foot, so I had the ability to train on the bike, and my bike is.
So talk to us about I don't think there's a typical day for you, but let's say a hard day. What would be you've done a good strong effort on the weekend, and then what would be a couple of days in a week look like in terms of a break session? How would you?
Well, it really depends on the week, like you said, because it depends if you're going through an intensity week or a recovery week. So it's definitely those weeks where it is going to be intense, and it depends what race. So it's been more intense for me this year because I've been training for half Ironmans. Last year I trained for a full, which was more about building my stamina. So it was more like lower heart rates and just longer courses, longer training intervals. But this year it's been very intense. So like this morning I got up at 5 and I had to do a 30-minute run, get my heart rate up to like a zone 4, which is pretty fast, race pace effort by the end of that 30 minutes. And then I had to hop on the bike for about 45 minutes, and that last 20 minutes of the bike, I had to do a 10K time trial sprint effort, and then I had to get off the bike and do another brick at race pace effort for 20 minutes, and then just go down for 5 minutes. Then after that, kids were up, started making breakfast, doing laundry, and No time to really relax and recover. But
Yeah.
when kids are at school or camps or whatever, I fortunately I do have the time during the day to train. So I have like a 5-hour period where I can get all my training in that needs to be done without the kids around. But granted, if there's doctor appointments or they're sick, we do travel a lot. I still take them on vacations. I still take them to sports and everything else. So I have to, juggle. If something comes up, I'll have to take my husband's turn in the morning or do it at night, or I just have to schedule my days off.
What about recovery from injury? So you went through a foot injury just now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there are things that you learned through that whole process.
Yes, reading a lot of pros and everything. It's definitely great to learn about it because I did have a setback. I am new to the sport and I was just over aggressive with my training. And I've learned that you really need to pay attention to your training every day and stay in tune with your body and push yourself to limits, but not to points where you are going to be injured at risk. And that's been a learning curve for me too. I would have to say, learning about holding yourself back and learning to train right each day. And then also about nutrition. Nutrition is another huge leg coming into the sport to learn about.
Yeah, so talk to us about that. Like, how do you, when you were doing the full last year versus the half this year, how has nutrition changed for you over time? Or just your concept of what works? So,
it has been. It's, we all are changing and evolving and trying to learn what's the next thing out there, what's the next thing out there. And there's so many fads and you get caught up. And I really think that I just had to step back, not listen, just listen to my body and just figure out what is going to make me feel good. What am I eating that's not making me feel good? And I learned that, the more plant-based nutrition that I started eating, like my body started reacting a lot better. I started getting more energy. I started, just feeling better about myself. It was easy to digest, and I just think it's big learning.
Do you do solely plant-based, or do you mix it up?
I started to incorporate farm-based products. So I do. I go to Mike's Organics, and I get farm fresh eggs, and then I'll eat chicken every now and then. The meat was more for my husband because he likes meat, but it's definitely been a huge change getting grass-fed or organic and just going to a local farm and getting food.
Yeah, I think we're lucky. We live in an area of New York where it is urban, but there's still a lot of farms.
Yeah.
That's what we can get fresh. The farmers markets probably end within a 50-mile radius every weekend, where you can get fresh produce, which is good quality produce. So what about so there are lots of people who just don't. They read a lot about fueling, right? But they're still. They still don't know what works best, and they want to learn from somebody who may have tested it through racing. So talk through if you're doing a sprint versus a half versus a full, what would be your fueling strategy for? Start with the full and then work backwards.
The full is a different animal to tackle. I mean, you definitely want to. A lot of people just read the labels, and there's a lot of sugar in it. And for me, I found my stomach can't deal with the sugar. So whenever I do a race, whether it is a sprint, an Olympic, full or a half, also you have to consider weather. So I find that I need just simple, digestive products. Like I can't take the heavy sugary drinks. I can't take the goos or the chomps. So your bars have actually helped quite a bit because they've been very easy to digest and they're very natural. So I can actually eat a bar and go for a run, and it doesn't upset my stomach. I definitely need coconut water. It's a huge supplement for me. I do use a replenishment drink, energy drink. but it's completely natural and organic based. Sometimes I'll even put sea salt into my drinks. I add extra sea salt, especially on hot days, and I know I'll be sweating a lot. And I actually carry a little water bottle on my runs, just like a generic little water bottle. I like to hold it. Some people don't like that. And I use broth, or I use water and sea salt in there, and I just take little minimal sips throughout my run throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's helped me. I haven't cramped, I haven't bombed. Every race is different, and every race strategy and fuel strategy is different race day. So I always pack a little extra or little different things, knowing like what the heat conditions are going to be or what the weather conditions are going to be, because that helps me prepare for what's going to be out on the course.
And then, so that's half, like, and then you just work back. The same principles you're saying apply.
It's the same principles that apply. It's
easily
probably just less volume.
Low sugar stuff.
Low sugar.
You
I mean, it's different for everyone, but I can, I have stress issues.
Yeah.
Like you said, with the healthy fats, instead of like packing Twizzlers or Twinkies, I put walnuts.
Yeah.
And some little things that I like that are real food that will help, with my energy levels.
And your sanity too, right? I mean, however much we love, energy bars, you get tired of eating them. Right? I want to eat some real food on the ride.
Exactly. Bananas, I get a little bananas, so I got to do a little something different. I like to make my own trail mix, so sometimes I throw some goji berries, walnuts, coconut flakes, all together, and I'll just stash that and eat that.
Mineral balance, nice fats.
I wouldn't say I have pitfalls. I'm very determined and motivated, so I make it work. And that's what you have to do. You just have to be determined and motivated. You have to be flexible. You're going to get tired. I'm tired from being a mom, and then on top of all the training, that's where nutrition comes into play as well. But let's say, for instance, I'm leaving for Florida in 2 weeks. My Ironman is a week from when I come back. I already scheduled to find a YMCA while I'm down there, a bike shop where I can rent a race bike, and a gym where I can lift weights and do whatever else I have to do. So it's planning ahead, and it's being flexible is probably the key word, because you're not going to have your bike down there, but you got to work with what you got. And
which is smart. You rented a bike.
I don't have to travel with one. That's fine. But I'm always in contact with my coach too. Like I'm in constant communication with him, telling him what's going on, and if we need to alter something, he'll tell me to alter it. Like he knows I'm going to be near a beach. He might throw some beach sand workouts in there for me.
You think that having the coach has been a crucial part of your?
It has helped me learn a great deal. Yes.
Because one of the things I found was a lot of people. I mean, you can find a training plan anywhere, any of the magazines, anywhere, right? But I think there's a big difference when you're trying to do something as major as an Ironman and doing it on your own versus having somebody who's helped many athletes go through it.
Right.
And just as a sounding board or something, right?
It's definitely, it's also the motivation too. I mean, you have someone there waiting for you to log in your program. I mean, if you're, it's like working from home. I mean, some people get lazy, If they're able to work from home, they might not. But if you have someone that's like watching your moves, your limits, and he understands it. I mean, he's been doing it for years. He's a professional, and he's, great. So his advice, I respect. And I take each, and I've learned, from my first Ironman, I was like, wow, so that's why that one training day, that's the importance of that one. That was the importance of that one. So now every day I take it day by day, and I focus on just that training session. And I don't look ahead. He won't set goals for me. He won't, plan the week ahead for me. He does it day. He's, focused on the day. That's all you need to do. That really has helped me, too.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps the clutter right? It just keeps you focused.
And the anxiety level down. I mean, because when you just start planning ahead, you see, it just mounts up, and then you see race day, you just start stressing. And it's supposed to be fun. I think a lot of us forget that it is supposed to be fun when it comes down to it. And if the day you stop having fun, I tell, all my friends and everything, is the day I'm just going to quit, because I want to still have fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable.
And so kids, right? So your kids are big cheerleaders for you in the sport. And I think that helps, right? Having them involved in that part. Now, did they also do a kids triathlon?
They did when I was in Syracuse for my half Ironman just recently. I had them sign up for a Iron Kids race, so they're big supporters.
Yeah.
You know, Ironman the committee is just really good supporters of getting kids involved.
That's great.
So I signed them up for a race, and you could do a quarter, a half, a mile. And my 6-year-old twins, they did the quarter-mile race, and then my son, who's 9. I don't think he understood the concept of a mile, the distance. So he's like, I'm going to do the mile.